Hello everybody, welcome back to Chasing Tails Dog Training. I'm Rebecca, and this is my little friend Chance, who just really wanted to be involved, apparently, tonight. So anyways, this month's video is going to be a little bit different. I didn't get quite as many questions as I was hoping, but I also, with 4th of July and everything coming up, I kind of wanted to go over some of the safety things that you can do to make sure that your pup has a happy and safe 4th of July so that you can have a happy and safe 4th of July. So I'm going to go over a couple questions that I've gotten, and then we're going to go over some things that you can do to make sure that you and your dog have a great weekend. One of the questions that I got was, after accidents, is it wise to use the nose method? My assumption when reading this question is when my dog has an accident, go and rub their nose in it. I don't find this to be particularly helpful. Most dogs, if you don't catch them in the act, they have no idea what's happening. You're just all of a sudden shoving their nose into something that they don't make that link. Best thing that you can do is catch them in the act of having an accident and immediately taking them outside and giving them their cue to go outside. It doesn't matter what you want to say. If you want to say go outside, hurry up, go potty, whatever works for you. The idea is you want that cue to be like, nope, go outside, let's go potty, and get them outside as quickly as possible to finish their business. Once they are done completing their business, have a party with them. Let them know that you're excited that they went outside. While they're in the act outside, make sure that your praise is calm. Otherwise you're going to get them excited and they're not going to finish, because dogs are party animals. What can we say? Another one of the questions that I got. Do dogs revert back to previous behaviors after training? This is kind of a hard one to answer. I'd say the answer is maybe. A lot of it is when we're working on these behaviors, if we're not reinforcing them, a dog may not remember. Remember that a dog will always do something that's in its own interest. So if it's going to be exciting or helpful for the dog will do it. If the dog doesn't see good in it for them, why are they going to bother? So it's important that even after our dog has trained, that we continue to reinforce these things that we want them to do, which kind of ties into the other question that I got, which is, why does my dog betray trust after long-term training? Again, are you doing the homework? Are you maintaining the work that you've already put in? I am not that trainer that says you have to dedicate 1 hour every single day for infinity to make sure that your dog is trained. Find ways to utilize these training commands and tricks into your daily routine. Maybe while you're brushing your teeth, you want them to sit and watch you. It's a great way to reinforce sit, great way to reinforce watch, and a great way to help them learn some patience. That sometimes it's okay to just sit. There you have it. Dogs can absolutely revert, but it's up to you whether or not they are going to actually revert or not. If they start reverting, it's important to kind of look at what's going on and go back to those trainings. Start from the basics and build up from there. So I hope that makes sense. Hope that's helpful. All right, happy 4th of July, woo! Quick reminder, this is the time to go and talk to your vet if you're gonna need any medications. Your vet is not gonna be impressed when you reach out up to them on July 1st because they've got 85,000 other things going on and they don't know if you need trazodone or not. Reach out to them ahead of time, at least a couple weeks ahead of time. Give them time to make sure that they're within their legal rights to prescribe your animal medication, making sure that the dosage is still correct, all the stuff that goes into medication. It doesn't matter what medication, whether it's trazodone, gabapentin, Promace, clonidine, whatever it is, talk to your vet now and make sure that you get those refills on board. So as far as things that you can do around your house that don't necessarily involve your veterinarian, biggest thing I can recommend, check your fence. Go around your entire fence line and make sure that there's no holes, no gaps, no way that your dog can escape. Because you gotta think, if they're scared, they're not gonna be in the right frame of mind. So if they see a hole, they might just go. So do yourself a favor, check your fence now. And also, I even recommend taking them out on a leash, even if you have a yard, just so that you have that little bit of extra. They get scared, you're right there to be like, nope, come on, let's go back inside. Make sure that wall fireworks, or even thunderstorms, I mean, how many dogs are scared of thunder, right? I laugh that my dog is scared of thunderworks. So make sure that anytime these loud, scary booms, anything that is scary to your dog, close your windows, close your doors. Make sure that that sound is dampened for their sake. Microchip and collar updates. Remember that a microchip is, goodbye Chance. Remember that a microchip is extremely important. It is one thing that I recommend after all the years that I've worked in veterinary med, worked in animal control. If your pet is microchipped, it doesn't matter if Joe Blow down the street stole your dog. If somebody scans the chip and your information's on it, doesn't matter if you gave it to Joe Blow, you're the rightful owner. So it's extremely important to make sure that your microchip is updated. If you need to, call your vet, see who your microchip company is through. I know in the past I've used a company called Found. I believe it's a Michelson Found Animal Association, where I was able to actually link all of my pet's microchips. That was like 24-hour pet watch and one other one that I was able to actually link those all into one place for 0 fee. As far as I know, Found is still going on. Otherwise, I'm sure there's other companies like it where you don't have to pay an annual fee. It's the other thing that you can do. Not every average person has a microchip reader. Weird, right? Tags. This is a quick and simple way for if I'm out enjoying the fireworks and I see a stray dog and I'm able to get it, I can be like, oh hey look, this dog's name is Toby and this is the owner's phone number, and I can call them and be like, hey, I found your dog. Make sure that your tag information is up to date. With as often as phone numbers can change, make sure that, take a double look. Don't take it to chance. I also like to have my dog's microchip information on his collar, just because if there's anybody like me who knows how to go and look up microchip information without a reader, I can help. That's just me. Microchip is definitely not necessary. I know that some people will put their address. It's entirely up to you. Most importantly, make sure that there is some way to contact you, and if you lose your dog, you're answering that phone. Big important one. Those are some of the best ways that you can make sure that your pet makes it home. Ultimately, we just don't want our dog to get out, right? Like, we don't want to have our neighbor calling us going, hey, found your dog. So what can we do to prevent these kinds of issues? One of the biggest flaws that I have seen, and this is honestly something that I'm guilty of myself, is coddling fearful behavior. So like I said, Toby is terrified of thunderworks. Anything in the sky that makes a sound is clearly unnatural. We're not okay with that. And when I first got Toby, and before I really understood a lot of the ins and outs of canine psyche that I do now, I was that owner that cuddled him in the bathroom and went, oh, it's okay, baby, it's okay, don't be scared, I was such a good boy. And what I learned from that is I taught him that it is okay to be scared. Being scared is the appropriate behavior. Being scared is how I want you to act, which that's not how I want him to act, right? Like, I just want to make sure that he's comfortable. He's, you know, it might not be a big favorite thing of his, but I want to make sure that he is comfortable enough that it's kind of like, okay, the world's not completely ending. So instead of coddling that fearful behavior, I honestly did the exact opposite, and I stopped acknowledging those fearful behaviors. Whenever he would go, his favorite hidey holes are behind my toilet or under the spare bed. Those are the two places that I know I will find him if he gets scared. Which is also a good thing for you to remember. Know your dog's hidey holes. But it's one of those, like, I do feel like there is an appropriate fearful response, and then there's a way out of proportion. So when Toby's scared, like, he, even to this day, he might hang out in his hidey hole, and that's fine. And he's probably going to shake and just turn into a little vibrating friend because he's scared. That is an appropriate amount of scared and fear. As long as we can keep that to where it is and not going into like destructive behavior, excessive drooling, not being able to calm down once a storm is done, things like that. If your dog is experiencing any of those, it's important to go and talk to your vet. There are medications that can help them get through this, that it's going to make your life easier. It's going to make your dog's life easier. Don't let your dog destroy your house because he's scared. But when it comes to how I kind of got my dog to he used to, when he would hear thunder or a firework, he would immediately freak out and run. Whatever direction, because in his brain, it's just get away from whatever the scary noise is, except when it's coming from the sky, there's no way to get away from that. So instead of being upset with him or telling him, oh, it's okay, it's okay. I started telling him, well, that was a silly move. Or when he's hiding behind the toilet, I'm like, you're such a baby. I love you. You're a baby. But essentially letting him know this is an overreaction. You don't need to be this scared. And then I really focused heavily on rewarding brave behavior. So anytime he shows me something brave, if I walk past the bathroom and he looks at me, yeah, hi Toad's good boy. Letting him know, hey, I like that. Way to go, not just putting your head in the corner. When he comes out, it doesn't matter if it's during the storm, right after the storm, or 30 minutes past the storm. Make sure you reward that. And I honestly do what I would call a jackpot reward, which is where I would take a bunch of little goodies, a bunch of little cookies, and break them down in small bits. And then as I'm rewarding him and telling him what a good boy he is for coming out and interacting with me in this fearful time, I give him little bites of cookie. It gives him incentive. It's just, you're such a good boy, you're so brave, you did so good, I'm so proud of you. It's going to make him want to come and see me and be around me when he perceives the world as falling apart. One of the ways that I can tell you 100% that this works, so I moved here from Colorado. Colorado does not get the thunderstorms that we get out here in the Midwest. Like, it is not anywhere close. Nor do they last as long. Storms were very short-lived where I used to live. So when COVID hit and there was that howl at 8, I don't know if anybody remembers that. My neighborhood was really big on setting off fireworks and making a whole thing about Howl 8. So I knew every day at 8 o'clock this was going to be a thing. So it gave me the opportunity to really work with Toby. That I knew that we were going to, I knew in my brain that we were going to need to remain calm and focus on the positive things, reward brave behavior, don't acknowledge the fearful, which unfortunately we're not all going to have that. Hopefully we don't have another 2020. I don't know about you guys, wasn't a fan. But I ended up the following year, I was doing group walks. It was around July. And we went and did a group walk, and it ended up just being me and one other gal, and her and I were sitting in the parking lot just kind of chatting afterwards. And she had her 3 dogs. She had happened to get all 3 of her dogs in the vehicle. I had not yet gotten Toby into a vehicle. And somebody lit a firework off maybe 20 yards from us. And instead of the complete panic that would have taken over Toby, he had that moment of, oh God. And then he remembered, oh no, Mom is my safe spot. And he actually came and sat at my feet. And even when we moved out here, like we'd be out for a walk and a thunderstorm would happen that I wasn't expecting, or a firework would go off and he'd be off leash, and instead of running, he'd be like, nope, Mom's my safe spot. And that really is our goal when it comes to fireworks, thunder, any loud noise, whatever it is. The other thing that I want you guys to keep in mind, if you end up with a dog that does need to be on medication, again, whether it's trazodone, gabapentin, whatever it is, when a dog is medicated and happens to get out, keep in mind that they are going to be fuzzy-headed, they're going to be disoriented. This is why it is so important to make sure that your contact information is up to date, because it is so easy for a dog to slip past in a front door. It doesn't matter how well they're trained. If they're scared and they don't come to you immediately, you need to make sure that there's a way to get them home. A couple of other things that you can do, I do recommend having some type of like music playing, some kind of background to give them a little bit. It's not just the sky falling outside. Doesn't really matter what kind of music. Classical is usually what's preferred, just because it's soothing. You could also do something like a Thundershirt. Thundershirts can absolutely be fantastic, multiple uses. But the important thing to remember with thunder jackets is they can also trigger an anxiety response. If the only time you bring out a thunder jacket is when something scary happens, your dog is going to see you grabbing that jacket and be like, oh my God, something scary. Thunder is going to happen. We're going to the vet. Yes, that I'm not comfortable with her coming over. So it's important to utilize the thunder jacket in times of non-stress either, and just be like, yeah, I just think you're cute in your little jacket. And then some dogs, it doesn't work at all. I know my dog, anytime I put him in anything that resembles any type of clothing, he acts like I beat him, which that's just not worth it to me. I'm not gonna make him feel that bad. You can also utilize calming treats that you can pick up at like PetSmart, Petco, Pet Supply Plus, Amazon. I personally do not recommend the CBD bites. Marijuana and CBD and all of that works very differently in dogs than it does in humans, and it's really not well regulated in the veterinary world. I would do something that's more of like a chamomile or thiamine based product. And then one of the best things you can do, get them exercise before it happens. Go out, get them on a good walk, let them out for a run, let them go to a dog park if they're happy at dog parks, play some fox on a string, play some fetch. Do something that wears them down. Anxiety takes a ton of energy. As somebody who has anxiety, I can tell you how much energy anxiety gives you. On an anxious day, towards the end of the day when I'm in my safe spot, I am exhausted. It doesn't matter how much physical, mental work I did throughout the day, it's exhausting. So if we're already worn out, it's a lot harder to have that energy to be anxious. Just kind of like why it's good for humans to go and exercise. I hope these kind of give you guys some ideas moving forward. Keep in mind, please talk to your vet sooner rather than later if you're going to need medications. Cannot stress that enough. If you have any questions on this or need any personalized help with your dog, please reach out to me. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm here to help as much as I can. Hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you'll share and like on social media. Sign up for my newsletter, get some good information as well as some upcoming events. Like I've got group walks coming up. I've also got a couple of raffle things that I'm doing. So if you kind of keep an eye out, could win a free session with me. Take care. Hope you guys have a great holiday.